and again, thank you for agreeing to meet with me and telling a little bit about how food, in particular, ties and how that helps tell the story of where your family's from and your family story and all of that. And so the first question I want to ask is there a particular food dish or a recipe or food item that really comes to mind when you're thinking about your family's story and your culture that kind of helps tell that picture or tell that story?
Yeah, I would have to say or pick tortillas because it really tells the story of blending families. And so both my parents and their families are from central Mexico. And there, the one tortilla you make all the time is corn tortilla. And so my grandma, actually, she remarried and migrated to the States. And when she remarried my grandpa, he's actually from Mexicali, which is a town that borders Mexico. And there they make nothing but flour tortillas. So my grandma, of course, had no idea how to make them. So she had to learn how to make these. And so all her kids and they had to learn to adapt to eating flour tortillas because that's, what my grandpa was used to. And so when my mom and my dad married, my mom would say that she was a great cook and she knew how to cook and make tortillas. And so my dad was excited. And so he goes to the store and he comes back with a big bag of flour and asks my mom to make flour tortillas. And my mom's a little bit freaking out because she's never done them before because all they do in that region is corn tortillas. And so my mom starts to attempt to make them and they're coming out everything but round. And so my dad's just like eating breakfast and he's waiting for the next tortilla to be ready. And my mom can't make them fast enough. And so they're made all weird. And my dad's like, don't worry about it. I'll eat them. They don't have to be round. And so, when my parents migrated to the States after they married, we grew up with now making flour tortillas. And so when I started to be able to learn how to cook, I had to learn how to make flour tortillas. And my dad is a truck driver, and so whenever my mom would pack his lunch in the morning, it was always like burritos made out of flour tortillas. And so that's been something we do all the time, and it's combined my dad and my mom when they got married, something they had to learn to do together. But it also tells the story of my grandmother blending two families when my dad was young. So that's been a really great history for me. How tortillas are a big part of how we are where we're at now, in that whole journey of having two things and them being okay to do those two things.
Awesome. That's very interesting.